Peace and blessings, glory, glory to the eternal, forever living God. It's your brother Jehoshaphat Israel here in the house that God has made. And on this show, we're going to look at the past, we're going to look at the present, because all of this determines where our people is headed towards the future. And I understand that it's a lot of people that don't understand the meaning, and then a lot of people don't understand the importance of what was done. What was the reason why we wanted to initiate the the Voting Act law in the first place? What was going on in America? We're gonna look at all of that. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna bring out all the truth. And for the life of me, I don't understand if one of the presidents seen fit for this to be an actual a law, why would they want to rescind something like that? Let's look at a couple facts real fast. Okay, the act often referred to as the 1965 civil rights legislation regarding voting intimidation bans literacy test as a voter requirement. So this is some of the things that they were doing to our people, to so-called black people. Some of them were banned. They couldn't even vote. But we have the 15th Amendment. What I don't understand, you know what I'm saying? Everybody has the right to vote through the 15th Amendment, but this was what they were doing to our people. They were intimidating them, meaning if you vote, we'll do something to you. We'll burn down your house. We'll hurt your children. We'll unalive your family just to vote. Literacy test. So to know who's good for the country, you actually have to be able to read. Shouldn't you just look at a person's their character, their background, and what they cause is? That should be enough to be able to say if you should vote for them or not. But they brought in literacy tests just to test black folk to see if they were competent enough to vote for a president. That don't make no sense right there. You know what I'm saying? Let's look some more facts into it. Okay, the Voting Right Act of 1965, signed August 6, 1965, outlawed discrimination voting practices, such as literacy tests and poll taxes that prevented African Americans from voting. It established federal oversight of voters registering in areas with a historic of discrimination aimed to ensure the 15th Amendment right to vote regardless of race. So these were some things that were happening to our people to prevent them from the test. Look at this. It authorized the United States Attorney General to send federal examiners to register voters in judicial systems that use discrimination tests. All of this. So we're going to look at it. We're going to look at it on this show for today. What is so important? Why was the law enacted? What are people saying? What is the outcome? What is the folly of taking it out of the system that we all look for? Does that mean that everybody can't vote now? Remember, it was only white and black in this country that was voting. So that means everybody else can't vote now? I don't know. But we're going to look at it on the show for today. Peace and blessings, glory, glory to the eternal, forever living God.
We believe that all men are entitled to the blessings of liberty. Yet millions are being deprived of those blessings, not because of their own failures, but because of the color of their skin. The reasons are deeply embedded in history and tradition and the nature of man. We can understand without rancor or hatred how this all happened, but it cannot continue. Our Constitution, the foundation of our republic, forbids it. The principles of our freedom forbid it. Morality forbids it. And the law I will sign tonight forbids it. That law is the product of months of the most careful debate and discussion. It was proposed more than 1 year ago by our late and beloved President, John F. Kennedy. It received the bipartisan support of more than 2/3 of the members of both the House and the Senate, an overwhelming majority of Republicans, as well as Democrats, voted for it. It has received the thoughtful support of tens of thousands of civic and religious leaders in all parts of this nation. And it is supported by the great majority of the American people. The purpose of this law is simple. It does not restrict the freedom of any American so long as he respects the rights of others. It does not give special treatment to any citizen. It does say the only limit to a man's hope for happiness and for the future of his children shall be his own ability. It does say that there are those who are equal before God shall now also be equal in the polling booths, in the classrooms, in the factories, and in hotels and restaurants and movie theaters and other places that provide service to the public. I am taking steps to implement the law under my constitutional obligation to take care that the laws are faithfully executed. First, I will send to the Senate my nomination of Leroy Collins to be Director of the Community Relations Service.
So look at it. Before 1965, on a piece of paper, so-called African Americans could vote. But when they went in to vote, they were intimidated. That's when all the lynching and stuff started coming out, all the intimidation, and the Klan started coming up, and houses started being burned down, and people started coming up missing. So on a piece of paper, we had the right to vote, but none of this was being enforced. They had to bring out the National Guard. They had to bring out more laws just for us to be able to vote, our God-given right, being American citizens born in this country before 1965. So when people say that there's nothing in voting, yes, it is. It's a whole lot in voting. If your people had to shed their blood and they had to die and they had to be massacred and they had to be brutalized and dehumanized all over casting their vote on how this country is ran. But, we're not done here. Let's get more into this.
Because the Supreme Court gutted the Voting Rights Act, dealing a devastating blow to our democracy. Their decision will allow states, particularly in the South, to dilute and try to silence black voters. For decades, black Americans and activists fought and bled for our right to vote. Once again, we have to organize, mobilize, and fight for our right to vote. When I say we, I mean a collective we. Dems won't win if all Dems don't participate to revert this very, very racist action. We need everybody involved. It doesn't matter what state you come from, what the color of your skin is, or what your religion is. Now is the time to fight back. Make no mistake, Republicans are trying to steal this election because they know they cannot win it fair and square. They've gutted our health care, raised prices for everyday necessities, turned their backs on hardworking people, and now they want to stay in power. Democrats, now is not the time to grow weary, to shutter the windows, to close the door. Now is the time to show up, to stand up, and to speak up for democracy.
And I thank her for breaking that down, because all of those things was done. I just wonder, how does that affect all the other different races that live in this country? Are they being affected the same way? Do they have the right to vote? But then as I look at it, a lot of immigrant people and migrant people, they don't even really register because they don't want to become citizens like that. But how is everybody, if I know how we're affected in it, our vote is being counted out. Counted out. Anybody good that we would even want up there, they don't even want us to vote for them people. But we're not done yet. Let's get more into this.
A concerted and intense targeting of black Americans, specifically by this president and by this administration. On his first full day in office, he proclaims war on diversity efforts, not only in government, but in any institution in the country over which he can exert leverage, everything from schools and universities to law firms to private businesses of every stripe. He then
I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand. This whole country is being ran by only a couple of people, and none of those people are black like that. They're not. You know what I'm saying? So as I look at this situation with Donald Trump going after everything black, it seems like a power grab to me. It seems like a seizure of power is what he's doing. But the American citizens, we the only ones that's going to suffer. Black people not being able to vote is going to make everybody suffer. You know what I'm saying? Haven't they learned this by now? I guess they haven't. So when I seen Trump go up there after DUI, diversity, he was sitting there talking all that stuff, talking about they don't have competent people with good IQs in the position. The positions are just being given away. It doesn't work like that. Affirmative action doesn't work like that. But I don't understand. Well, I do understand, but I don't think they know them affecting black people is going to trickle down, and it's going to affect everybody across the board, especially people that are marginalized and people that are struggling, people that are poor. But I'll let her continue.
Immediately started firing some of the highest profile black public officials in the whole U.S. government, seemingly regardless of any other thing about them. I mean, right away, we get the firing of the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Charles C.Q. Brown. We get the firing of the Librarian of Congress, Carla Hayden. And then it's Gwynne Wilcox from the National Labor Relations Board. And then it's Robert Primus, the chair of the Surface Transportation Board. And then it's Alvin Brown from the NTSB. And then it's Peggy Carr, the head of the National Center for Education Statistics. And then it's Willie Phillips from FERC, from the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. And then it's Lisa Cook from the Federal Reserve Board of Governors, and on and on and on.
Now, none of them people, you didn't see no Asians up there. You didn't see no Spanish people up there. You didn't see no white people up there. You seen discriminatory practices being practices on black people only by this administration. Only on black people by this administration. And you could say, well, you know, Jehoshaphat, they got ICE and they got this and they got that. But those are more problems that they have already created for their own selves. That's off the board right there. You know what I'm saying? Don't no country want to be flooded with immigrants that do not do anything for the country. Don't just eat up off the government. You seen how many government funding that immigrant people got. Y'all seen that. So y'all can't sit up here and tell me that I'm wrong.
Trump and his top political donor, Elon Musk, then started just lopping off huge swaths of the federal government to disastrous practical effect. The largest and most egregious cuts targeted federal agencies that employed a disproportionate number of black employees. Reporter Erica Green wrote about this a few months ago.
Now, why is a disproportionary level of black folk? Because that's the only places that we really can get a job from. The government, because there is no discrimination. It's not supposed to be no discrimination practices. But as you can see with the Trump administration, racism.
Ago for the Times, noting that nothing had moved backwards in the federal government for black Americans this quickly or this far in over 100 years, since Woodrow Wilson came in 1912 and resegregated the federal workforce. Quote, black employees were fired or demoted to lower-level jobs, relegated to separate and inferior lunchrooms and other facilities, and accused of making white women feel unsafe. Those who remained were humiliated. A black worker in the Postal Service was surrounded by screens, so white workers would not have to look at him. Another employee had a cage built around him to separate him from his white counterparts. A clerk in the Treasury Secretary...
Like, how sick and how demented of your ideology do you have to do something like that to another human being? How sick and deprived is your mind? You know what I'm saying? For you to fester in that much hate towards a group of people or an individual. I would never allow anybody to have that much power over my self-thinking, my self-worth, my confidence. I would never grant nobody that much power over me to where I can't even look at them. That's a sickness. That's an ideology that's beyond, you know what I'm saying? That's beyond hatred right there. What else can you call it?
His office was assigned to rewrite all correspondence to address black employees by their first names, the way Trump addressed the Librarian of Congress, Carla Hayden, by her first name when he crowed publicly about firing her for no reason. In the year of our Lord, 2025, and now 2026, this president and this administration is not just inheriting that history from the Wilson administration.
Now, the only reason why she said the year of the Lord, they all said that back in the past, it's acknowledgement that she believes in Jesus and that any day Jesus can come home. You know what I'm saying? That's why they said it like that. The year of my Lord, 2026. But let's get back into more racist policies in racist America. Hold up, I want to hear my brother out. You know what I'm saying? I want you to hear him all the way out. Everything. I'm just not bringing in the policies and the politicians and the presidents. I'm putting everybody up in this.
Who the real street nigga? Who a snitch? Who ain't a snitch? Where the next party gonna be? Where they turning up at? Man, let me tell you something. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I'm worrying about how they changing these political and congressional maps. How they trying to box niggas in. How they slowly trying to script rights from niggas. These people talking about overturning the 14th Amendment. A lot of you motherfuckers don't even know what the 14th Amendment consists of. All y'all know is waking up, jumping on social media, trying to be on every fucking scene, trying to put on this fake ass image. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. These people slowly tighten the fucking chains around niggas' wrists, legs, and necks again. And y'all motherfuckers too blind, too ignorant, too scared to understand what the fuck really going on. See, I'm gonna be real with y'all. A lot of y'all so comfortable living a fucking lie, y'all try to avoid the truth at all costs. Because the truth scare y'all, it offends y'all. And then expose y'all for the fake coward motherfuckers y'all are. But when y'all get on this social media shit and y'all see all this racial shit going on, keep thinking it's a game. Keep thinking that shit just an algorithm. It ain't no fucking algorithm, it ain't no game, and it ain't no coincidence. They know what the fuck they doing.
Man.
They know what they doing, and they know it's a lot of sleeping motherfuckers around here, especially amongst the black people.
And that's one thing that we should learn from the racist people in this country. We should learn how to plan things out 20 and 30 and 40 and 50 years. That's what the racist people do in this country. They plan for 20. They're already planning. It's 2026 right now, right? But they're already looking at 2036. They're looking at 2047. They're looking at 2056. And that's the mindset that we should have as black people. We should have ownership. We should have the mind. We got to teach our children ownership of this country. This is our country. We don't have nowhere else to go. We just can't pack up all our bags and head back to Africa like that. This is where our blood is. This is where our foundation is. This is where our history is. All of it soaked into the blood of the land. This is our stuff. So we as black people, we got to take ownership of this country. And then as black people, we have to learn how to plan 20 and 30 and 40 and 50 years into the future so we can see some good things happening. But just like our brother said, a lot of our people are scared. They just numb. They numb and they go back to sleep. And then they think that none of this stuff is going to affect them. All this stuff that they see nowadays is going to affect them. Just like the big bill, the big, beautiful bill of 2025 that black folk really didn't want to hear about. Now it's affecting us. Now what we do? We're going to have to take ownership into this country. Yes, we're going to have to plan for our near future. I'm not talking about thousands and centuries ahead. I'm only talking about decades in front of us. We have to plan for this. But first, we have to come together and quit doing the things that we're doing to each other. Can't blame the white man for everything. You got to put the blame where the blame supposed to be at. You know what I'm saying? Supposed to be at. My bad, brother. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, black people are asleep to a lot. Y'all oblivious to a lot. Like I said, because a lot of y'all live a fucking lie every day to where y'all try to y'all best to avoid accountability and the fucking truth. But like I say, when y'all wake up one day in the world that y'all know, the livelihood,
it's going to be too late, brother. You know what I'm saying? It's going because they don't hear and they don't understand what's happening now. So their livelihood ain't going to be there for them in the future. And they going to be out here begging. You know what I'm saying? They going to be out here begging and asking everybody for help. If you can only help your people now. If we can come together now, not tomorrow, not next week, not a year from now, right now. But once more again, y'all want to go off into that dumb stuff. Y'all want to be pleasuring yourselves. And I'm not saying all of us. But the ones that's going to be hurting the most, these are the ones that's playing games now.
That y'all know, the shit that y'all have made the norm, when it no longer exists, just know y'all ass in trouble.
No, they in trouble right
None
now.
of this shit is
We in trouble right now. You know what I'm saying? We are in trouble right now. But a lot of us don't want to stand up for what is right and what we have to do. But just like that dog. You can bag a dog in the corner all day long, but when that dog turn around and bite you, don't look surprised. You know what I'm saying? That's what we are right now. We black people in this country, we the big old dog. We're getting bagged into the corner, and they're using sticks and bats and jabbing sticks and jabbing it. But what happens when the animal gets tired? It's either fight or flight. That's where we at right now. We can't have no flight. We ain't nowhere to run to. Ain't nowhere to go. So fighting is the only thing we can do to survive. But let's get more into this. My bad, brother. Go ahead.
It's happening by mistake. This shit is part of the fucking plan. It's part of the plan. I was always taught, if you ever want to hide something from a nigga, put it in a book, because niggas don't read. That's a fact. If you want to hide something from a nigga, put it in a book, because niggas don't read. I'm going to be honest with y'all, man. I'm not trying to sound like no fucking conspiracy theorist, and I'm not trying to sound like I'm some nigga on the internet that think he know everything. But I'm going to tell you something. You can't piss on my head and tell me it's raining. Yeah, you can't piss on my head and tell me it's raining. Y'all better wake the fuck up.
Man.
When you look at how they changing with this whole redistrict shit, what they got going on, trying to change the political and congressional maps, y'all better read and educate yourself and understand how and why and who that shit gonna affect. Because it's gonna affect a lot of people. A lot of y'all gonna be caught with your pants to your ankles when the time comes. And when that time comes, y'all gonna be piss po Mari. Y'all gonna be asked the fuck out. Like I say, niggas, black people, y'all holler this black culture shit. What the fuck does black culture really mean? What does black culture really stand for? Because I'm gonna tell you something, niggas always a day late and a dollar short. Yeah, y'all gonna wait until it's too fucking late to decide we gonna stand together and we gonna reunite and we gonna be the one. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Y'all worrying about who the realest rapper, who the realest street nigga, who a snitch, who ain't, who the baddest bitch, who got the most money. Ain't none of that shit finna mean nothing, cause guess what? All that shit, all you motherfuckers, finna be put in one box, one category. Just another fucking nigga.
Now listen to what our brother said. Nah, I never claim to be the smartest black person in the world or a Negro that knows everything of what he talking about. I'm trying to understand what the hell's going on, just like y'all. That's why we in this together. But listen to what he said. It is coming a point of time to where all that stuff that my people own, ain't none of that stuff gonna matter. It's not gonna mean anything anymore. Why is that? Because it's going to be gone away. All of it. You know what I'm saying? All the things that y'all distract your minds with. And when you listen to me, I'm telling you this because I love you. You my brother and you my sister. I don't hate you. I don't want to see bad for you. I want to see you looking good, smelling good, and having good things. Got to say it to you again. I want to see you looking good, smelling good, and having good things. But if we don't come serious on this, ain't nothing's going to matter about anything. Everybody is going to be living in a damn box. Everybody going to have their hand up for the soup can and some rice and some beans in a minute. It's not going to matter if you're not willing to stand up for this now. That's what we're saying to you. So the whole life of what we build, of all the things that we turn to, that's not going to be around anymore. Why is that? Because y'all not willing to fight for it now. It's sad. But let's get more. Brother, thank you for coming to the show today. Let's get more into this.
Y'all do this under the orders of somebody that said the civil.
My bad. Let's go back. Let's go all the way back. My bad.
I have no doubt in my mind that the map's gonna pass. If y'all can give us less than 0 seats, you would do it. Y'all do this under the orders of somebody that said the Civil Rights Act was harmful to white people, that it caused reverse racism. RFK said that black children are overfilled on antidepressants and that they need to be reparented on different forms. All of them. Pete Hegseth constantly brings Doug Wilson to the Pentagon to give a prayer service. Doug Wilson is the same pastor that said that slave owners were on strong spiritual ground. I don't have no belief in no morality on anybody that followed Donald Trump. If you wasn't with this map, you wouldn't be underneath this president. You wouldn't be in your party. You would stand up, you would stand against it, you would speak out about it. So as far as I'm concerned, if you here as one of these Trump Republicans, you already showed us who you are. You showed us what you want to do. And I believe the country as a whole is rebuking your party. Y'all are in a death spiral. That's why y'all have to redistrict. That's why y'all have to cheat. That's why Trump got to go to Texas and say he entitled to 5 more seats. It's because y'all know what y'all doing is abhorrent. We letting our people die in Iran based on false pretense that Tulsi Gabbard and Joe Kent said ain't real. Y'all okay with all that. So I'm positive y'all gonna be okay with the maps. But the beautiful thing is, the children that y'all have made and the people that's younger than y'all don't support none of this racism that y'all want. The MAGA party is the last breath of the Confederacy. And I'll be happy to see millennials and Gen Z bury y'all.
Man.
There will be no more of your party.
Man.
The midterms gonna come, y'all gonna get wiped
In
out.
the name of Jesus.
Trump gonna get dragged out of the White House, and I'ma love every second of it. Because y'all loved every second of the suffering that he caused to everybody in this country. And worldwide, we starve in Cuba. We bomb Nigeria. We holding Zimbabwe and Zambia hostage for their minerals. We don't want to give them aid support.
What did your president say? If you don't give us your minerals, we will not give you the $13 million in aid medicine. That's what our president say. He would rather human lives be dead just because he want to set a monopoly on minerals in a foreign country that is not his own. All over for what? Power, resources, money, control. But I have nothing wrong with what he's saying. I agree with every single thing that our brother is sitting here saying, because all of these things have been happening. Just like our brother, he gave me hope. This is the last leg of the Confederate Party, the Confederate people, all of them. You know what I'm saying? You want to call them patriots, whatever you want to call them, MAGA, whatever. This is their last ditch chance. Just like he said, that's why they doing all this damn cheating. This is why they doing, they looking at the next 50, they project and they looking at the next 50 years of this country and them being powerless, having nothing. Just like he said, they on their this is the last leg of the Confederate Army right here in the White House right now. And just like he said, I hope in Jesus' name they drag them people out for all the evil and all the corruption that they doing. And that's my president. My bad, brother. Go ahead.
Lifers that say all life is special, y'all letting kids die of AIDS. What part of your Bible say that?
No part.
Point out the scripture.
No
I think
part.
Everybody would love to see it. And we would love to see y'all in the midterms.
Last time I checked, it said to love your neighbors and to see your neighbor as you see yourself. And that's fulfilling the whole law. And if you can love your neighbor, and ain't no love in this country like that, you know what I'm saying? And you see the divisiveness in this damn country, the separation in this damn country. You see all that different stuff. But we're not done. For our people out there who didn't understand what they're doing and why they're doing, we're here to open up your eyes to what we need to do, because they gonna do them, they gonna be them, and they gonna do their agendas. But what we gonna do, you know what I'm saying? What we gonna do about it? Brother, thank you for coming to the show today. So I'm gonna use my AI buddies up here to show you a visual depiction of what it looked like for black people in this country back in those times, back in 1960 and 64 and 65. What did we have to endure? What did it look like? I feel like on this video, I have covered the topic really well. I have brought a lot of our brothers and sisters in here to give you a little bit of more knowledge that you probably didn't have before about the topic. So I hope that it helped you understand what we're in. But I'm going to go ahead and let's take a flashback to the past of what it looked like for the reason why this law had to be enacted. Remember, just like on paper, our ancestors was let free, you know what I'm saying? But that does not mean that they were free, you know what I'm saying? They had all these different devices of incarcerating you. You had convict leasing. You had vagrancy laws. You had redlining. You had Jim Crow. You had separate but equal. You had sharecropping. You didn't have the prison to the pipeline. You didn't have all these things happening to you as a race of people. But we're going to look back at it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to look back at it, how the life was and why. Why?
Florida, election day. Mose Norman, a prosperous black farmer, goes to vote. He's turned away. They say he hasn't paid his poll tax. He goes to Orlando, meets with an attorney, pays the tax, returns to the polling place. This time, his name is mysteriously missing from the voter registration rolls. He takes the names of the poll workers.
We will vote by God,
he says. That night, a white mob comes looking for him. They go to the home of July Perry, another prosperous black landowner, a leader in the community. The mob breaks down the door. Gunfire erupts. 2 white men are killed. The mob burns Perry's house, calls for reinforcements. 50 carloads of white men speed from Orlando, led by Sam Salisbury, former Orlando police chief, a KKK member. They surround the black neighborhood in northern Ocoee. The mob goes house to house, burning, shooting, killing. Between 30 and 80 black people are murdered. July Perry is...
This is why, your brother, I always say they want to cry about the past, reparations for the past. They need to worry about the 1900s. You know what I'm saying? Just look at all the horrible things that happened to black people in this country in the 1900s. We're not talking about the 1800s horror. You know what I'm saying? The 1700s horror, the 1600s horror. You know what I'm saying? Just look at the 1900s, all the way from 1900 to 1999. If you could chronologically get all the things that was systematically done to black people, it'll blow your mind. And then they sit up over here talking about, we don't want to play reparations for the past, but what about the present? You know what I'm saying? You sitting up here saying that you don't want to pay reparations for the past, but what about the present from 1900 to 2026? Because it's ongoing in this country. If it wasn't a thing, we wouldn't have never had to all come together in the Black Lives movement just to get white cops from killing black people. It was that bad in this country. It was so bad in this country that other people said it in other countries like, damn, why the police keep on killing all the black people? Everybody's seen it. So let's get back into this.
Captured, lynched, his body hung from a tree for all to see. 24 black homes are burned to the ground, churches destroyed, businesses torched. The entire black population is told to leave or die. Families flee into the woods. Children navigate swamps in the dark. Some hide for days. Most never return. Ocoee had 255 black residents in 1920. By 1930, only 2 remain. The entire community gone. Black landowners forced to abandon everything. A grand jury is impaneled to investigate. They find no evidence of wrongdoing. No one.
So when black people don't understand reparations, they were forced to leave their homes and their land, and all of that just got absorbed right back into white people. It got right back. They got the land right back. You know what I'm saying? So it was land theft. So when black people, they say that we don't deserve reparation, they really don't know the history of this country. They don't know the history of black people, and they don't know the history of white people. And then they don't know none of the laws, none of that stuff. They don't know nothing about anything about historically what's been done to black people in this country. They have no idea, even though they live it and breathe it every single day. It's crazy.
Prosecuted. Instead, the white man whose son was killed runs an obituary, thanking the community for their sympathy. The United Confederate Veterans changed their convention timing so attendees can visit Ocoee to celebrate the victory for white supremacy. For 60 years, no black people live in Ocoee. The massacre is buried, forgotten, denied. 2018, 98 years later, the city of Ocoee officially recognizes the massacre. For the first time, 2019, a historical marker for July Perry is placed, 99 years after his lynching. 1920.
In the homes of every American, in every community across our country. And be solved in the homes of every American, in every community across our country. In this respect, I want to pay tribute to those citizens, North and South, who've been working in their communities to make life better for all. They are acting not out of a sense of legal duty, but out of a sense of human decency. Like our soldiers and sailors in all parts of the world, they are meeting freedom's challenge on the firing line, and I salute them for their honor and their courage. My fellow Americans, this is a problem which faces us all, in every city of the North as well as the South. Today, there are Negroes unemployed 2 or 3 times as many compared to whites. Inadequate education, moving into the large cities, unable to find work, young people particularly out of work without hope, denied equal rights, denied the opportunity to eat at a restaurant or a lunch counter or go to a movie theater, denied the right to a decent education, denied almost today the right to attend a state university even though qualified. Seems to me that these are matters which concern us all, not merely presidents or congressmen or governors, but every citizen of the United States. This is one country. It has become one country because all of us and all the people who came here had an equal chance to develop their talents. We cannot say to 10% of the population that you can't have that right, that your children can't have the chance to develop whatever talents they have, that the only way that they're going to get their rights is to go in the street and demonstrate. I think we owe them and we owe ourselves a better country than that. Therefore, I'm asking for your help in making it easier for us to move ahead and to provide the kind of equality of treatment which we would want ourselves. To give a chance for every child to be educated to the limit of his talent. As I've said before, not every child has an equal talent or an equal ability or equal motivation, but they should have the equal right to develop their talent and their ability and their motivation to make something of themselves. We have a right to expect that the Negro community will be responsible, will uphold the law, but they have a right to expect that the law will be fair, that the Constitution will be colorblind, as Justice Harlan said at the turn of the century. This is what we're talking about, and this is a matter which concerns this country and what it stands for. And in meeting it, I ask the support of all of our citizens. Thank you very much.
I just hope and pray to all my family out there, you know what I'm saying? I just hope and pray that one day we get another president like John F. Kennedy that actually seen us as people and not property and possessions, and seen us wanting to fight for equality for not just for black people, but for everybody. The things that the assassinated president said, it was beautiful. And as an American person, all I can do is hope for one day that everything that he said would be in the law.